Okay, I'm back finally. Sorry I haven't updated in quite a while. I've had a couple of minor battles, a couple of issues I've been trying to get resolved, a couple of changes here and there. Still want to make a few other changes. All in all, everything's doing pretty good. I'm slowly winning a couple of the remaining battles, but we can talk about that here directly. The tank looks good. Looks pretty good. Still have a little issue with, and it's very, very hard to tell if it's micro bubbles or really fine sand blowing around, but I've got it cut back from what it was with a couple of changes I've made. As you can see, I've made a few additions. The wife is extremely happy with the clowns. Those are her babies. Got a heck of a deal. I found these guys mated pair, 75 bucks. Trooper coolers. Anyway, that's Fred and Ginger, by the way. Over here you see I got the Tang. He's been in the tank for about a month. I think the camera's got him washed out. He's a powder blue. He's no issues. Very looks very healthy. He's what can I say? He's getting a lot less scary. He's more friendly. He's hiding now, but he's got his hidey holes, so you can see that. I think that makes him happy as long as he's got somewhere where he can duck and cover if he feels the need. My daughter calls him Jacques, obviously from Nemo. I've added the leather. I'm not 100% sure about this little hermit crab that's been in there. He's been in there for about a day and a half. He's not doing any harm that I can detect, so maybe they're buddies. It's one of those things you just got to continually watch to make sure he's not doing damage, but wherever he's been, the leather continues to look good. So I knocked him out of there one time and he climbed right back up. So it goes. The zoos are, you can tell, are spreading out from their original rock and doing really well. This poor little guy down here, I don't know if you can see him. I put him over here because for some reason the Tang likes to pick on it. It's not eating it, but he'll pick on it. He hasn't bothered him over here, so I just leave it over here. Of course, there's one of my bulldozers. I like to call these turbo snails bulldozers because nothing that gets in their way stays in their way. They just run it over. Another Zoe that's doing really good. This little candy cane that I put in there, it's hanging in there. It's actually, there's a couple of red bumps on it. It looks like new growth. Probably can't tell for the damn sand blowing around. Just for drill, I got this real cheap piece of SPS, Sacropora. Just going to try it, see how it works out. Got it glued in place there. Again, I've got a crab that has decided to make his home in there. And again, I keep watching him and watching him. He's not doing any damage that I can tell. We'll see. These mushrooms aren't doing too bad. I did have them up here. One of the bulldozers decided to knock him all the way down here. And it actually looked like it started doing a little better there, so I left him alone. I got this little crab messing around with this Zoa, which somebody knocked over. I got to glue that piece down. Anywho, my returns. As you can see, the top one still has its, it looks really crappy through the camera. It doesn't look that bad in person, but anyway, that's one of those deals that increases the amount of water flow. I took it off down here, the same on the other end, and that helped cut down on some of the. I could actually, if I stayed there long enough and watched, I could actually see where it was picking up just little tiny bits of sand. And that's been the issue is all these little tiny things that just get an itty bitty amount of sand and pick it up, add up when they're all put together. As you can see, I took it off of that one as well, and that one's still on there because it's, yeah, that looks worse through the camera than it actually is. Anyway, I had an issue with the cyanobacteria. I've not been very happy with. I vacuumed it up. You see some right there. I don't know if it's coming into focus. There's a little bit back here. I hate to zoom this thing because it might booger up on me. Anyway, had the cyanobacteria, and I think several causes of that. Remember, your RO units do have a lifetime, about 1.5 years, 2 years, and I didn't think about it. The next thing you know, the membrane was done, and it was letting the phosphates get in past it. I've also put in the DI, the deionization resin. That should help, and I believe, I'm pretty sure we were probably overfeeding, and I mean they were gobbling up this little girl right here. She's a pig. She will suck down as much food as you put in there, so you really got to watch it. As well, the tang, I think we were putting a little too much, we have a rock there with a rubber band on it. We're putting a little too much seaweed in there for him to eat. And we've come up with a new strategy, let him stay a little hungry. And since we've been doing that, he has been eating a lot of other different stuff now. So we'll go down below here, and a couple of changes, I guess. I put one of them turbo snails down here in the sump, and I tell you what, he does such a good job of keeping that thing clean that I actually put a tiny piece of algae in there every once in a while for him. My, shoot, I guess I need to get some light down here. Well, there's nothing really to see, but the skimmer, I turned it so that the discharge goes back that way instead of this way. That's cut down a lot of the micro bubbles that were getting back into the tank. I've also, on the chiller, I was having issues with the chiller, not being able to keep up. I had the return, let's see, I had the return over here in this corner, and the suction was right here, right where my finger's at, or actually the pump was, not the suction, I'm sorry. When you get the chiller, it gives you an option of different size hoses. The one I have gave me the option of 1/2 inch, 5/8, or 3/4. Well, I had the fittings for the 5/8, so I went ahead and used 5/8. Use the biggest hose that you can possibly use. I've since updated it to the 3/4 inch hose. The suction, I don't know if you see it, but there's the pump now over here next to the skimmer. That's the hose there going to the chiller. And this is the return. I decided to just bring it over and let it swirl around. It's not picking up this sand. Thankfully, that worked out because of this baffle that I put in here. So it's not. Everything's looking good in here. It's got really great circulation going around. I don't know if this camera is behaving or not. Sorry if it's not. So anyway, that's where I'm at. In talking about the cyanobacteria, of course I checked my Fosban. I use Fosban. I've also made a bag of it and put it down here, and I learned a lesson as well. I use the ChemiPure activated carbon. the ChemiPure, and I found out I should be using ChemiPure Elite because that also absorbs phosphates as well as silicates. Silicates can cause this problem as well. Silicates are an issue. You need to, it's something that people don't think about. You can't really see it back over there. I put a little fan down here. It was a little warm down here in the underneath, so I got that air circulation. It's just a regular little household desktop fan blowing air around down here. Can't think of anything else I've done. Made a little shelf space on my door for some of the different stuff I'm accumulating. Okay. So, questions, comments, thoughts, opinions, all that neat stuff, as you know, always welcome. I think that's pretty cool when the little Scarlet wants to clean the tang. I scared him off trying to come over here and show you that. There's a second Scarlet. That's Jackie, by the way. My daughter, 14 now, but she still likes to name all the animals. Anyway, y'all take it easy and have a good one.